So you've heard of a Callaway Corvette, but I bet you haven't heard of or seen a Callaway Camaro. But today you will. Let's get started. If you guys follow Hoovies Garage, you know that this is his car. This is a 1995 Chevy Camaro Callaway, and it is supernatural. You'll find out why when we open the hood. This thing has a little over 400 horsepower with no superchargers and no turbo. It's just a naturally aspirated engine. It's basically a 95 Camaro. There's a lot of things that are still stock on it, but then there's also a lot of modifications that Callaway did to change the aerodynamics and change the styling. Let's go ahead and take a look around this thing, and then we're going to see how even a Callaway Camaro cannot escape LT1 shenanigans. So here we can see the Callaway insignia. It says Callaway Car C8. And that does not look like your typical Z28 Camaro, does it, guys? The whole front end is completely different. It's more pointed, more aerodynamic, and it has some strange little plexiglass or Lexan or whatever that is covers where it used to be open on the Camaros. Has some Oz Racing wheels that are in very good shape. This car is really in very nice shape. It's been kept very nice. It has some strakes right here, some little ventilation openings, 4 of them there. That's not on a stock Camaro. Basically from this line down is completely different all the way back. There's some more of these little strakes or ventilation, but this one actually has a reflector or a side light. We come back to the rear bumper, and this is also completely different. It actually has embossed in the bumper Callaway, and this thing sounds amazing. Although we're not going to be starting it today because the engine front area is all apart. But down that side is equally just as nice. This is a beautiful car, very rare, very special car. Let's hop in under the hood. So I mentioned in the beginning of this video, supernatural. Let's find out why. It even says right here on the core support, supernatural Callaway cars, Old Lyme, Connecticut. That's what they call this engine. This is an LT1 that's been stroked and different things done to it to get more power. You can see it says supernatural 400. I think it actually has 404 horsepower. And it looks like Lane worked on it. I don't know what that means or what's going on there, but it has definitely some differences here. It has this little plate screwed onto the throttle body for improved flow. But as you can see, the front of the engine is torn apart. Let me move this out of the way. Even with all these hopped up high performance mods from Callaway, they still can't escape the LT1 shenanigans. Let's jump into the interior and let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around, and then we'll talk about what's going on here.
Okay, ladies and gents, I wish you could smell in here. It smells like Armor All. And it appears very shiny in here as well. You'll see that in a second, but let's take a check of this gauge cluster. It says it has 33,453 miles. Standard gauge cluster we would see, except that it does say it goes up to 150 miles per hour. I don't know, might be able to reach that in this car. Wouldn't be surprised. But here we go. Here's some of that shine going on. Lovely plastic dash up there, very common for the 90s. But they also have added their definite little insignia there to mark that this is a Callaway Camaro. Let's move down. Again, lots of shine, shine, shine. Have our first hidey hole. And it has the owner's manual, which is kind of nice, kind of impressive. And lovely, the little button there for our trunk release. So as we look here, you'll see we have our stock HVAC systems, insanely easy to control there. And we have our stock AC Delco stock radio with a CD player, which would have been pretty new during that time. So we move down. One thing that they did not update is they did not take out the slides for our cassette tapes in our open hidey hole there. So we move down. Ooh, we see a lovely kind of a jewel red gear selector here. This is a 6-speed manual, which would make this so much fun to drive. Get to our next hidey hole, and I guess this might be the only hoopty part of it, because it looks like right over there on that one side it is missing a piece. So sorry, Tyler, there we go. It looks lovely when we close it. Because this is a sports car, apparently we only get a small center section and only one person gets to have a beverage. So I guess the driver and the passenger do have to argue over that. But if you see, we do have a lovely center section with a lovely blue Chevy keyring. Seats are a dark gray leather, and they have a little bit of bolster on the side with an attached headrest on the top as well. Our door cards are again more plastic and that dark gray leather, but again, everything's in really good shape. We do have our red Callaway floor mats that look in really good condition, considering that floor mats usually have a very short lifespan. As we move to our back seat, and yes, this is a 4-seater, and oh look, there's something back there. Let's take a peek. What do we have back here, Mr. Hoover? Oh, we have some of your riches. It appears to be, there we go, a not real plastic quarter. So school money, it says. Great. There you go. We'll leave that for you. In the center, we do have our drive shaft hump, which keeps it from being a 5-seater, and we do have our back window. And if we look back there, it's in really good condition back there. Headliner, dark gray, nothing going on because it's not very big, but does have molding for each compartment with a little lowered section in the center. And as we end at our steering wheel, you'll see we have our Camaro embossed on the actual steering wheel section there. Nothing fancy going on here. Pretty basic, pretty shiny as well, because as I said, everything in here has a scent of armor all on it. But it does look really good. Enough of this interior talk. Let's go find out, why did they have all the engine components taken apart?
This is the March 1995 Road and Track magazine with a Callaway Camaro on the cover, and it is not just a Callaway Camaro, it is this Callaway Camaro. Exactly this car, which is really cool. It's one of the reasons why Hoovie bought it. So why is the front of the engine all torn apart? This is a Chevy, well, the basic design of it is the Chevy 5.7 liter 350 LT1. No, I'm not talking about the new LT1 engines 2023, we're talking about LT1 back in 1995. I know that they have newer engines with the same designation. This is not the newer engine. These have the distributor not where you would think it would be on your grandpa's Chevy truck. They're actually in the front of the engine under the water pump. Let's take a look. So that is the timing cover. We have the water pump removed, the main pulley removed, and the distributor removed. And the reason why, which is very common on these, is coolant leak. And it destroys the OptiSpark distributor. Let's go take a look at the old parts.
That looked really cool.
Yes, this is the water pump. And as you notice, you do not see a pulley. There normally would be a pulley like you would normally think right here. Not on an LT1, it's driven behind the water pump, right here. You can see it was pouring antifreeze out. But a little tiny drive shaft, a little coupling here, spins the water pump from behind it, not up here. But as you can see, it was leaking and pouring all down the side of the water pump, all down the distributor. You can see the stain marks from the coolant here. And when this happens, it absolutely destroys the poor little distributor. These are called OptiSpark. They actually have a disc inside that uses an optical sensor. And as it's spun, not only does it deliver spark, but it also provides to the engine a position sensor signal. One of the common complaints is that you'll go to start your car and it won't start. It's because the OptiSpark distributor has died from coolant being poured all over it. It's quite an ordeal to replace these. As you can see, it's quite a teardown. It's not like a distributor on a Chevy truck where you just undo one bolt and pull the distributor out. You have to pull the pulley off and pull the belt off and pull the water pump off and a whole bunch of other stuff just to get to this. But having gone this far, there's still one more step to show that if you don't replace these seals, which go around here and around the top part we'll show in a minute, you will be pulling this all back apart again, probably in 3 to 6 months. Let's go take a look again. So back to the front of the engine again, you can see there's a big hole right here. You can see the big hole in the middle of the timing cover. That's actually where the distributor mounts. You can see the little mounting holes here and all around. And that little flange area goes inside the sealed surface here and mounts to the camshaft. That's actually where the distributor mounts on this. We'll also be removing this little stub that holds the harmonic balancer to replace this seal, the distributor drive seal, and there's one more little guy that's a real pain in the butt to change. This is the little shaft I told you about that drives the water pump. Watch this. It comes off. You got to clean all this gunk off. This seal is very hard to get on. I have a special tool. It's kind of like a little cone shape that lets you put it on. See how sharp of an edge that is right there? I've known mechanics have to do this job 6 times over. Like, repeat the job because this keeps leaking. I can get them resealed the first time and I'm done. But it can be a huge, huge job if you don't do it right. So this job has a lot of while you're there types of things. Just because the water pump's leaking, you say, oh, I'll just put a new water pump on, I'm good. No. The OptiSpark distributor has had coolant sprayed all over it. It's a matter of time before it fails. If you're pulling all this stuff apart, you're going to do all those seals I just showed you, the distributor with an upgraded one, also a new water pump and a new belt. It's a whole inclusive job to get this taken care of properly. Let's take a look at the new parts. Here's our brand new AC Delco water pump. Here's our upgraded OptiSpark distributor. It actually has a better venting system in it to allow moisture to escape. It also has a little bit higher voltage coming out of this one. Here is a set of spark plugs, a set of spark plug wires. Because we have all this stuff apart anyways, why would we not do a tune-up? And also a new serpentine belt. Over here is our new seals. These ones are pretty easy to do, but this is the little one I talked about that's very, very difficult to do. See the little orange portion there? It easily gets torn or folded over and it won't seal. It's kind of like paper almost. It's not rubber like you would think. So as you can see, it's quite an ordeal. For small issues to happen on the front of this engine, it's quite a teardown, quite a lot of parts. If you have one of these LT1 engines, it could be in a Camaro, it could be in a Caprice, it could be in a lot of different vehicles that GM had. You can expect to have to do this job at least once in the ownership of the vehicle. Don't cheap out. Don't say just do the water pump, we'll call it good. You will be tearing it back apart again, guaranteed. Do it all right, and it'll last you quite a while. Let's get this thing up in the air. Let's take a look underneath and see if we see any leaks or anything going on, and also if we can spot any differences from a standard Z28 Camaro. So here's our core support and everything. The radiator is directly above it. Everything is nice and dry, nothing leaking there. That's pretty much standard on a Camaro. This is all standard Camaro stuff except for the performance parts and things they added to it. But there may be some differences with this sway bar. Maybe they changed some of the ratios in the steering rack. I'm not sure. It's not something that's really visible. Let's take a look at the wheels. It does have drilled and slotted Brembo brakes, which is a nice upgrade. Nothing loose there. Struts are not blown. It has nice stainless steel brake hoses, braided. We can see coolant leaking here. That's actually from just tearing down the front of the engine. But over here, you can see this white staining. That was actually from the water pump where I showed you it was leaking. It was literally spraying all down the bottom of this car. Check out this wheel. Brakes are about half gone, but they're still good. And some wiring that Danielson has tucked out of the way. No steering rack boots leaking. Nothing going on there. Here's our 6-speed transmission, and it says, exchange program, do not disassemble, call technical assistance. I'm pretty sure that program is expired by now. Let's take a look at this transmission mount. Everything looks good there. Nothing leaking real bad here at the output shaft. One thing that's different on this car is it doesn't have exhaust manifold, it actually has true headers on it. They come down into 2, but then it changes into 1 at the catalytic converter. And after the cat, it goes to a really large exhaust, single exhaust pipe out the back. Then it splits into 2 at the muffler back here. Drive shaft is good. It does have a tiny little pinion seal leak, but it's so small we're not going to tear the whole differential apart to take care of that. It's just not worth it yet. This is definitely something different. It has these nice track bars on it. And shocks are conies. They're in good shape. They're not blown. Sway bar link is good. Here is a Panhard bar that keeps the axle from shifting left and right. The brakes back here are about 50-60% gone, but they're still okay for now. Nothing loose, nothing leaking. Not sure what kind of muffler that is, but it sounds really good. It comes in 1, back into 2 again. It has a really, really nice sound. Let's check on the age of these tires real quick. Not seeing much of a date code. I'm not familiar with much of the really old tires. Maybe you guys could figure something else. It does say DOT CX5K with EL 90510. That's pretty much the only markings we see on it. But they look pretty good as far as tread. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the ground. So before Danielson gets this thing all thrown back together and back leak free again, definitely want to do a video to show you guys Hoovies' really awesome Callaway Camaro. This thing is so cool and is very, very fast. I have never seen one in my life. Most of us probably haven't, and now I have. And it is the authentic Road and Track magazine car on the front cover. Really, really cool car. Thanks to Hoovies letting us film it. Make sure to check the description below. There's all kinds of really cool links and things you can check out down there. Check out Mrs. Wizard's Ways as well. She's got lots of videos going on for you guys there. And hit the subscribe button here because we have so many more cars coming in the shop, which means more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.